Hey guys, Haley Hutchings again. Sorry about the fact that there's been a delay with videos. Um, I just came back last night. I would have recorded last night were it not, you know, dark in the house. I just got back watching Delivers from Evil. Like I say in every video, there will be spoilers. And this time it is completely unavoidable because I do have some serious issues with this movie. At first, I thought it was okay. I mean, the scares really never got me. Maybe it's because I'm desensitized. I have no idea. But I just could not find myself getting into this movie. I mean, the makeup effects were fantastic. The soundtrack, I guess, was okay. The effects were decent. The plotline, it was interesting. Um, I'm not sure whether or not I enjoyed it or whether or not it was just me thinking it was so convoluted. Um, but my sister and I ended up yesterday, she and I both had off of work, and so we figured why not. Um, she and I were looking up trailers of current movies and trying to figure out what we wanted to see, and we ended up seeing this one, and the trailer looks so good. And we've been seeing it for a while now on TV and everything, and it looked so good. And then you see it, and it's kind of a disappointment because all the best scares are given away in the commercial. I will tell you right now, the trailer gives away all the best scares. I'm telling you this. I'm warning you. Watch the commercial, and you will have basically witnessed exactly everything. um, Eric Bana basically is the main. He's the main protagonist. He's okay being a New York cop. He's okay. I don't have any flaws with that. I love his partner. I don't remember his name at all. His partner was pretty funny. He kind of carried it up until about, you reached the pinnacle of the third act. Well, pinnacle of the second act, really. And it was kind of sad about what happens. But like I said, there will be spoilers. But anyway, um, basically, Eric Bana is a cop, and he has a wife and a kid. And, kid is okay, the wife, honestly, there was no need for her to be there. She was kind of pointless. They were in an argument, and the kid ended up hearing scratching noises on the floor. And this was after Eric Bana had been going through this whole case and everything, and had seen the markings. And apparently, if you see them, you're susceptible to possession. Um, the little girl is hearing scratching noises, and so she freaks out, and the door locks itself, and everything like that. And so the mother doesn't think that what she's hearing is real. So Eric Bana comes home, and God, he comes home, and she's like, "Well, your daughter cried herself to sleep," and he's like, "Wait, why?" And she's like, "She said that she heard scratching noises on the floor," and so they went up the stairs and everything like that. He's like, "Well, did you hear anything?" She's like, "No, I don't think that the scratches hurt at all. She doesn't feel safe with you home, or with you not home." And I'm thinking in my head, okay, I know that he just yelled at her right before his shift that night, but one yelling does not warrant you nor to think that your husband had scarred your little girl for life, okay? And made her hear shit. That is not how it works. So I found that kind of hilarious. I found that more funny than one of those gasp moments or anything. Um, the little girl, she's okay. She has a creepy owl doll. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a freaky thing. And they zoom in on its eyes like twice. Ugh. And oh god, I've seen so many scenes with little girls and just music, those Jack in the Box things. That is so overdone. That was such a cliche that did not need to be there. Um, but it was the movie was okay, I guess. I mean, on my way home with my sister, we were talking about it, and my sister was like, "Oh, I didn't hate it so much, not as much as you." And so we kept pointing out flaws of it, and realized more and more how much more that we hate it than we like it. So, that's probably my problem is the fact that I analyze these movies not just for you guys, but for my sake too, because I really, if I'm paying, like I went to a local theater and it was $6. They have a special $6 all the time. If I'm gonna pay $6, I want to be able to make sure that if I pay that much, that I'm getting what I'm paying for, a good movie. If not, I get kind of frustrated because that movie could have been put towards gas money or something completely and totally different. So when I get ripped off like that, it gets irritating. But I guess I don't feel like I was ripped off because honestly, it looked good, and that's always the gamble with movies is that you have to go off and see it for yourself to know whether or not it's good or not because everybody has different opinion. But yeah. So about anyway, back to the movie. About maybe at the end of the second act, before it goes into the third, poor Fun Cop, as I like to call him, because I don't know his name, nor do I remember. I just remembered he was freaking awesome, and his fight scenes were great. He was able to hold himself really well. Poor guy, he ends up running into the main antagonist. I'm calling him the main antagonist because he was the whole reason of why everyone was chasing everybody else around. Basically, when he gets in the fight scene with him, he holds his own pretty well for about 5 minutes, and then he gets brutally killed. Um, I felt so bad because of the fact that he was like one of the only characters I liked. I don't like the priest guy. He reminds me way too much of Saeed from Lost. And I know he has an accent, and I totally get that, and I have no problems with people with accents. But you could only understand about half of what he was saying. I mean, that was probably one of the bigger problems that I had with this movie, was that I could only understand half of what was supposed to be heard. And maybe that's why I just didn't understand why the hell they were hammering the Doors, out of all bands, hammering the Doors down our throats just because of the fact of the carvings and crap were portals and doorways, and so the crazy people would be muttering lyrics to, freaking the Doors songs for no apparent reason. And I'm like, what? Why? Just because of the name? Are you kidding? But then again, I have heard one or two other reviews, and they're like, oh, well, maybe they just want the Doors on the soundtrack. I don't know. So, honestly, can't really call on that. But anyway, the ending was seriously anticlimactic. Very underwhelming. If you really want to have a good ending, and I know it's based off of true events, and I know that there has to be some sort of closure and everything, but apparently in the third act, the main crazy guy, Santiago, he, he finally is caught and everything, because he is the one who kills the, Eric Bana's, partner. He is caught and everything, and so they go to have this interrogation slash exorcism. That's a combination and a half. And so apparently he had taken the, he had been, after whenever he got caught and everything inside Banna's home, he had apparently taken the daughter and the wife and went and hid her somewhere. And it was so funny because at the end, after the friggin' demon is exorcised from the guy, he apparently knows where they are, even though the demon was the one who did that. Now, I know about the whole greater evil and whatnot. I know about that. I know my basic demonology, but it was so weird for that to happen. I mean, that really didn't make much sense at all. Um, but anyway, so they actually went to the storage facility where there was a van, um, and inside the wife and the daughter were fine. What? And everything was all silent. Like, from the point of which the exorcism is over, after the priest guy, I know his name is like Mendoza or something like that. I don't remember his first name. I just remember his name wasn't. I just remember at the end with that stupid right at the end. It said Father Mendoza. But at the very end and everything, it goes silent after he says, oh, it's over. So this entire time, there's nothing but like this weird soundtrack going on. I don't even remember what it was, whether or not there was a soundtrack or whether or not it was dead silent. And you were watching everybody, go to this freaking storage facility, crack open a few units, find the van, use bolt cutters in order to take a padlock off the van, and lo and behold, the daughter and mother are fine. Honestly, I would have preferred it if it had ended to where the daughter and the mother were dead in the back of the car. If this is seriously still going off the source material, because this is supposed to be based on true events, I would have preferred it if the mother and daughter were dead, And the main test about whether or not, he was truly possessed or not would have been if he would have gone back to kill Santiago for killing his wife and daughter. That would have been interesting. That would have been a good ending. Either that, or leave it there. Leave it to where they find the bodies. And Banna has this look of like, I'm gonna kill this guy, but you never find out if he does. That would have been a good ending, instead of just leaving it off to where there's a happy ending where they're sitting on the floor holding each other, and then the freaking credits start rolling. What? It just, oh my god, that irks me so much. Anyway, yeah, so that sucked. But anyway, makeup effects were pretty good. The Exorcism was probably the most entertaining. It was pretty intense, and I actually did find myself involved, but when anything else happened, I just was not scared. I mean, there were so many fake jump scares that it killed it. It really did. Because, like, there was things like a lamp moving, and, and then after that, it turns out that right behind it was a mouse that got hit by a mousetrap. Or a cat meowing at the antagonist, and he slams the door, and the cat's like, meh. So it's just like, what? So, honestly, I don't know what to think of it. It was decent. I mean, it just did not work for me. Um, and it's so sad I don't have much to talk about. I've been mostly ranting. But it just did nothing for me. It really just, I didn't like it. But it was funny. The trailer was so much better. Honestly, the thing with the lions, that was stupid. That made no freaking sense, and it went nowhere. Um, the crazy lady, she ended up she ended up tossing her kid into a ravine, and so she was put into custody 'cause she was possessed. Um, she ends up, when she's in the loony bin, as Banna likes to call it all the time. Um, when she's put in there, she kills the orderly. Like, I think she, like, bites his neck or something based on the blood. I don't know, because you never see, because it's shaded. But she ends up getting the keys, puts them in her mouth, and by keys I mean, like, it's a giant corny key ring with giant keys hanging off it, so it looks really friggin' stupid. Um, but she ends up taking them in her mouth and then crawls doggy style out of the freaking cage. And the funny thing is, you never see her again! It's never told where the hell she went, why she had the keys. No idea. She's never brought up again. Ever. And it's just, it makes no sense. That bothers me when there are obvious gaps, loose ends to be made. And, oh god, that's so irritating. God, there are so many loose ends in this movie. Anyway, so I rambled on enough. Honestly, I really did not dig this movie at all. Just watch the trailer and you'll get just as much out of it. If anything, just watch the trailer and you won't be disappointed. That's pretty much it. So, I give this basically, out of 5, 1.5, maybe 2. I really did not like this movie at all. The more I talk about it, the more I find I disliked it, because I only remember, like, a fourth of it. So nothing was really all that memorable. I'm sorry about not putting any more, reviews recently. I just haven't had time with my new job to go see anything. I was lucky that I had my day off yesterday. So, yeah, so basically, that's it for me, and I'll see you guys next view. Take care.